Hey, yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome to Reflections of a DJ, the R.O.A.D podcast presented by DJ City and Beat Source. I am one of your hosts, DJ Crooked. We got DJ Never here.
Yeah, what up?
We got DJ D Miles.
Yo, what up?
We got Jamie the Great.
Yeah.
And we got a special guest. I've known this motherfucker since I was like 10 or 11 years old in New York.
Yes.
And he's visiting Las Vegas, and I was just like, yo, like let's have him on and shit. He's gonna remain anonymous, so we're gonna call him Leonardo.
That works.
Right? We've had Mario, Luigi, and now Leonardo.
Keep it in the Italian family.
So we're gonna have Leonardo over here. I've known this motherfucker since way back.
It's crazy, man.
10, 11, right?
Long time, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have a really good story. The first time we kind of linked up and shit, like when we were making beats. So we actually linked up because of DJing and beats, right?
Yeah.
And
actually, but through our boy.
But yeah, so
we had a mutual boy.
Yeah, you went to school. He went to school. One of like a childhood friend that grew up in my building. And then we just linked up. But we would talk about beats, and he'd tell me he was like telling me about a program. It was at that time he had a computer that was like sampling. He was like looping beats and like doing multi-tracks. Damn, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I was because I was using a Gemini 24-second sampler.
Yeah.
Stop recording.
Well, I was like, yeah, I would like, I had a tape deck. I would record the drums. I would loop the drums, and then I would play the drums on like a Walkman hooked up to the mixer.
Yeah,
and then I'd like sample a bass line and manually tap the bass line and everything, and then I'd record that, and then I take that tape with the drum and the bass line. Then I do like the horns, and I just keep layering it. And just keep using all these tapes.
Crazy.
And we were talking. He's like, yo, your beats are dope. How you make it? He's like, nah, I don't do that. I got a computer. And I'm like, whoa, like
was this like a desktop or laptop?
It was a desktop.
It had to have been an Apple, right?
Macintosh?
So, man.
It had to be a Macintosh.
I think it was an Apple. I'm not sure if it was a Macintosh, so I think it was an Apple.
That's insane, man.
See, like you were actually, you were doing all right though. You was like,
I was all right. My beats weren't that. I think your beats were more intricate, and I think it's because of the way you were doing it, because you have to think them through, like kind of like composing. Whereas I could just sample whatever I wanted.
He had dope samples though, because your parents had dope records, right?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. I remember I used to go to his crib.
Haitian,
I think I made it to your crib, and I his parents' collection, vinyl collection was insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mom's record collection was like Barbra Streisand. It was not popping. You know what I'm saying? Like I had nothing. You know.
Yeah.
You remember when you got into the car crash when we first linked? Yeah.
Too well. Yeah.
Yeah. So like. He lived in like, I don't know, like Westchester. Like past the Bronx a little bit.
Yeah.
You was like middle class family. You was like
some money.
Like
the Huxtables.
Never's calling me the Huxtables. It wasn't quite like that, but you know.
But you went back.
I wasn't struggling.
Yeah, you used to stay at your grandma's in the Bronx.
Yeah, moved around a bit.
And then like you'd be in Westchester. He went to a private school though. You know?
So did you?
I had full scholarship though.
So 100%. I had scholarship too, man.
It wasn't prep for prep though, right?
No, not prep for prep. No,
nothing
against prep for prep.
Yeah, because I remember we all bonded because we were like minorities that went to. We were all minorities that went to like rich private schools, and we had like scholarships. Yeah. You remember that era, or you didn't know? You weren't in that era of like prep for prep and like all these motherfuckers in private schools.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, D-Miles went to private school.
I went to. You went to that shit.
Private school. Yeah. Well, Catholic school. But
Which one? Which one did you go to?
Cardinal Hayes.
In the Bronx. Boogie down.
That explains a lot.
But all Catholic schools in the Bronx was like male or female.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, unisex. Yeah.
So you was wearing the uniforms and shit.
Yeah.
They had a good ball team.
Well, I had to wear a sports jacket and a tie.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, that's crazy. I went to a private school literally from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Get out of here.
Every day I had a student tie with like a little sweater vest or a full cardigan.
Damn, man.
Damn, am I the only one who went to public school? Even in junior high school and preschool, I had to wear a
shirt and tie. Yeah.
You couldn't have braids. No piercings, no tattoos. You would get kicked out of school. And
no colors.
Kicks had to be either white or black solid. That was it. Like, there was no in between.
We had to wear shoes.
If mine actually was co-ed, so if the girls got pregnant, they got kicked out.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's all happened. Like it was crazy. Like girls would just be showing like missing. I'm like, yo, where's such and such? Like, damn, she must have got pregnant.
Where's Tatiana?
Yo, teen pregnancy was a big thing back then.
Yeah,
no?
like, is it
still?
crazy.
Is it still now? I don't think so,
know.
right?
It don't seem like as much, right? Or maybe we not tapped in with the generation.
Well, Leonardo actually has a daughter. Is she in high school?
I was gonna say no, not yet.
Or they in high school?
They're not. They're non-binary, not in high school.
They're not in high school.
Jamie is like confused. Like what?
What should have been prepared for this?
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were about to, oh shit.
No, I think we loosely touched on this.
Wait, but I want to talk about how me and him linked up.
Yes.
Because there was an incident that happened.
Yeah.
So he lived in Westchester, and we were like, yo, we got to link up. And we got to make beats because you got the computer. I want to go check out the computer, and like I'll bring my sample records, and like let's fucking make these beats and be producers.
Yeah.
And so like he was like, yo, bet. So he came to Manhattan to come scoop me, right? So when he came to Manhattan, we jumped in his hoopty or whatever. No, actually, it wasn't a hoopty. It was your mom's whip.
Yeah, my mom's whip, but it was your fault though because
What?
you forgot something at your crib.
That's not my fault.
Yeah, you forgot something at your crib.
Take
I was
accountability
"Fuck,
here,
man.
Crooked."
I got to go turn around. We got to do this shit real quick because we were on a time. I forget what the time crunch was, but you had forgotten something. I was like, all right, fine. We'll fucking turn around.
Yeah, but no
Go
one
back
told
and
you to
get
make
that
an
shit.
illegal turn, yo.
But yo, man.
Nah,
You flipped the bitch?
You see how your mind
You
thinks?
went to the bitch?
Yeah.
See how his mind thinks?
That's a
So
regular turn.
this
So
motherfucker made an illegal turn, right?
Yeah.
And but then
For
he
you,
got, what
for
he got?
you.
He got T-boned. What is it?
Yeah, T-boned. Yeah.
Yeah, he got T-boned on my side of the car, right?
Yeah.
And then this motherfucker like we got T-boned like pow, and then this motherfucker just walks out of the car in the middle of Broadway, right? It was Broadway 95th Street.
90, yeah.
Yeah, 95th Street.
Yeah.
It was what the fuck? What the fuck? You remember going to Brooklyn and recording?
That was
We-
crazy.
We went to Crown Heights.
I felt like it was deeper, but maybe it was just Crown.
Nah, it was the Nostrand Ave stop.
I felt like it was East New York.
was-
I think it was
it was
East New York.
Nostrand Ave.
Nah, it was East
We
New
got
York.
out on Nostrand Ave. I remember.
telling you, man.
I remember getting out on Nostrand Ave. We got out on Nostrand Ave. We walked there, and then it was Kilo. Shout out to Kilolo. She's a homegirl, and her dad had a studio downstairs in the basement. And he would play drums, and we would try to I think it was $25 an hour
Shit
back
was
then.
expensive, yeah.
It was 2-inch reel to reel. I had to buy the reel for like $60, I think. And it was just like, it was a crazy time, man. We made a beat. This motherfucker was rapping Leonardo.
I don't even know why.
It was good. But
was
you remember
not good. That shit
it
was not
became
good.
like the soundtrack of the summer because we just kept running it, remember?
Because we had
Listen to that shit.
You were hiding shit to yourself.
we invested in that shit.
Yeah.
You have to run that, right?
It was a dope sample. I forgot it was from a record, Shades of Joy. It was
I can't even hear the beat right now.
It was like boom, doo 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 doo.
Was it a guitar joint?
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And then I recorded one solo song when Method Man, the METHOD man, was popping.
Yeah.
So like I made this song that was emulating Method Man, and I did his voice. I was like, yo, it's crooked, right? So I would talk like Method, and I would be like this. And I did it. It was like crooked teeth in the mouth of me. It was like crooked teeth in the mouth of me. Crooked teeth. And you guys were in the background like crooked teeth in the mouth of me. And I was like biting his whole flow. Like METOs. I was like, hey, you get off my car. I was like biting the whole shit.
I don't remember it sounding bad though. I thought it was all right.
It was pretty bad.
That's crazy.
I feel like I could find the tape deck somewhere.
Yeah, shit
and
needs to
do.
be burned. It needs to be burned.
But it was like, yo, we were just running that shit all summer. So like, whatever summer we recorded it, it was like in the hoopty.
Yeah.
We
On
would just
loop.
play that shit and just like.
I'm
just
trying to
run
picture
wild.
Leonardo rapping. He got
Yeah.
the voice.
Nah.
Yeah.
He got that
It's
voice,
not good.
man.
It was like
good.
it was like
just y'all was only two people that heard that song.
No, all of our boys heard that song. Man. That shit was
like
a hit,
people,
man,
you
on
know.
97th Street.
yeah.
Shit.
On my block, it was like everyone would like come through.
Shout
Just
out
to hear that song?
Rocksteady.
Well, like around that time on the block, it was like everyone was like listening to his shit and everyone was trying to make beats.
So
And
did
then,
y'all get known for being like the like duo on the block?
We weren't a duo. He just hopped on to hop on,
okay, yeah.
and he's like, "Yo, I have this rhyme," and I was like, "Yo, do it. Like, start the shit off." I think you started off, and I came after or some shit.
Some shit like that.
Yeah. But it was the time when everyone was a weed
trying to-
dealer, right?
And
too?
everyone is trying to rhyme, yeah.
Everyone was trying to rhyme. Everyone was trying to make beats.
What year was this?
Fuck. 90.
92?
was it
91?
92? It's probably
Well, you said
early.
Method Man, so it had to be like 93 or 94.
That's even more impressive that you had a computer.
He was rich.
I think like my grandparents, my grandfather was heavy into tech.
Yeah.
And I don't think he got his first computer until like 95,
Yeah, it was my
96.
brother though. That's why, because he was like
Yeah.
a fucking computer genius. So
Yeah.
he was into computers. I remember he had a computer back in the day, like from 8, like one of the first Apples.
That's
He
crazy.
was like coding. He still does actually. He's
Yeah.
like a programmer.
'Cause I remember our first computer in the house
Yeah.
was a Dell.
Was
It was like
it?
an
Yeah.
old school Dell with like the 2 CD drives, the like floppy disk.
This
drive.
shit had floppies. Yo.
Yeah,
So
the floppy disk joints. Yeah.
You had the floppies, the hard disk,
chill.
and then you had the zip drives.
Yeah.
The zip drives,
The zip
was
drives,
official.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
zip is what was used on the MPC. You remember you got
Right.
that MPC?
I got the MPC.
Yeah, that shit was flat.
That's when I really
you
started making
stepped
some
it up.
beats.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
And I was like,
Crooked had beats for days, man.
I was working with like the Harlem dudes. Y'all remember like
Oh, what was
Spank
it?
and
Spank
and
and Boogie Blind.
Boogie, yeah.
Yeah, when I like moved to Spanish
What was the
Harlem.
name of the crew?
So it was Lyrics to Go. It was like a commission, but it was like all these rappers in there.
Mm-hmm.
Spank Kink was in there. Dow Jones. There was like all these dudes. I was a part of it. Some guys, some kids from the Bronx,
Mm-hmm.
and they were starting like a college tour.
I remember you spoke
and I
about
remember they were auditioning. Remember I auditioned for that?
Shit. You remember I was the DJ for you?
Yeah.
And it
Whoa.
fuck up.
You did fuck up.
You don't remember that shit?
Boogie Blind was talking shit about you. I think outside.
I know, because he was like, who's your DJ? He fucked up.
Yeah. So it was like
We had
lyrics
this
to-
whole routine down.
Where did I get? Where did we like? We went to Spanish Harlem to audition.
It was
right?
like a barber shop.
It was a barbershop
Outside. It was like, what the fuck are we doing?
But this was like
it's like,
this was like, yo, we both went there. We're like, yo, this is our shot, right?
Yeah.
the barbershop.
It's like
How fucking dumb we were.
American Idol.
I know.
Fake ass American Idol.
It seemed like so serious though, right?
it was mad serious. I remember fucking practicing with this dude. He was getting all frustrated. He was like, yo, you got to get this shit right.
Sounds
I'm
like,
like, we
sounds
could
like crooked.
This is our shot. We're about to blow the fuck up.
Yo,
You
we
got to
could get
fucking
signed.
step this shit up.
We get signed because of this. So we went.
Oh, that sounds so
You gotta take this
familiar.
serious.
So we went and like we auditioned and I rapped and I think one of the beats was the company flow beat,
I don't
right?
remember, but the shit that I fucked up was like, so there was one joint that was supposed to like was on 45, and then we were flipping through records really quickly, but I forgot to hit the 33. So when I transitioned over, it was just like super fast.
So you
He
get a
was
big cap.
like- yeah, he was like looking at me like,
Big
yo,
cap did to Biggie.
Oh, that shit happened for real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
threw the
so-
water bottle on him.
It's on YouTube.
Oh.
That he was DJ. Big Cap was DJing for Biggie, and they was doing Me and My Bitch.
Yeah.
And then it sped up out of nowhere, and then Biggie turned around and had a water bottle in his hand and threw it at him.
Like really
Fucking
pissed or just fucking
Yeah,
with
nah,
it?
really pissed.
And he missed. And it hit the banner behind him.
And Big Cap was just standing looking like,
Like, it's not my fault.
dude, man.
Yeah, anyway, Lyrics to Go, like they were like, oh, like Tamir Brown, right? He was
Yeah.
in charge of that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there was probably a bunch of like,
Anybody known that was like
there's like
involved?
these Nino Brown drug dealers behind it that were funding the shit. And they were like, yeah, like I think they were like, yeah, let's fuck with him. And they
and cut out the DJ.
Yeah, they were just like, fuck that.
Yeah, you got to get a new DJ. Fuck
I remember Boogie Blind come up to me. He's like, yo, man, you killed that shit. He's like, you need a new DJ, though. And that's when me and Boogie would hang out. So he'd come to my crib, and then he'd be doing this crazy shit, like Rock Raider shit. And I'm like, yo, are you a DJ? He's like, nah, I play ball at the time.
But didn't you say he didn't even have
He didn't have
turntable?
turntables. He didn't have turntables.
That's even crazier.
So he would come to my crib and he would just fuck around. I'm like, yo, you crazy. Sometimes he hit me, be like, yo, I need to make a mixtape. Can I come to your crib? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. So he come to my crib, make some ill ass mixtape. And
Yo, was he just like God given, like just his talent? Like,
Yo, he's like a super, like he's low key. I think he's like a super genius.
yeah,
Because to this day he remembers motherfuckers' phone numbers.
that's
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he meets people and
Like a
he'll be like,
savant.
he'll say my name like, oh, 555-2444-666. Like, and I'm like, yo, shit, you remember my whole number? Like he remembers fucking numbers.
wow.
Like I swear to God, in another world, he could have been like, I don't know, like rocket scientist or some shit.
That's insane.
But he's Boogie Blind.
Great DJ.
Yeah. No. But then we hooked up with. I remember hooking up with those dudes and rapping. Remember I did a couple shows. You were never there though, right?
I think I came to a couple.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember one that was notorious, some ski trip shit that I never went
Oh,
to.
did you go?
I didn't go to that, but I heard it was bananas.
Who's that fucking comedian that called me out? He called me out. You know him. He's actually pretty famous. Capone.
Yeah, Capone.
Capone,
That's it,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we had this whole we had this whole lyrics to go showcase.
What was the name of the company that did this?
I don't know.
Wait, by the chance, was it On the Rocks?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, all right.
I don't remember. But it was
My
like
boy used to do like parties with Capone and all them. Capone, who's the other?
it had to have been that. And we were part of like the rap showcase or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember I was rapping and Blind was DJing. And we were only planning on doing like 2-3 songs.
Yeah.
And then Blind just kept going. He was like, yo, no, just do a freestyle. Do this, do it. I'm like, I remember I was on the stage and I was just like, yo, man, like get the I was like, yo, man, let's just go.
Yeah.
And I remember Capone was doing a stand-up.
Yeah.
He's like, man, he's like, I was watching this hip-hop show. And he's like, all these motherfuckers suck except one Chinese boy. And he's like, one Chinese boy. And everyone's like, yo, crooked. And they were like pointing. He's like, yeah, that motherfucker right there. He said, a Chinese boy just embarrassed a bunch of brothers on stage. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with our people? It was like, say some shit like that. And I remember everyone was like, hey, you the Chinese boy. You the Chinese boy that was killing it and everything like
Meanwhile,
that.
you're Korean.
Right.
I'm Korean. I was just so happy. Like, yeah, I'm the Chinese boy. I'm like, yeah.
They like me. The brothers like me.
I'm approved.
And I remember Capone pulled me aside and he's just like, yo, you got something, man. He's like, but he's like, just remember this. Always keep the crowd wanting more. Don't give them too much. He's like, you give them way too much. He's like, yo, just do, always have them wanting more when you get off stage. And I was like, all right, thanks, man, thanks.
Man.
And I remember that. It was just like, and the whole time I'm like, oh man, he just said the Chinese guy. I might get some girls or something. It was like, and I remember there was this one shorty who was kind of like I was talking to. And by the end of the night, like we ended up hanging out in Capone's room.
Yeah.
And then I think we were leaving.
And
I thought she was gonna roll with me. But the Capone was like laying in bed and she was just stayed with him and I was like, all right, man, well. Like,
You get the girl, I get the advice.
I was like, I guess, seems only right.
Not tonight.
Yeah, that was like during the whole rap era and
That's
everything.
dope,
it was honestly, when I look back at it, it was really grimy. Like I was rhyming. Do you remember that time? Like I went through so many managers and people who wanted to manage me. I think someone brought me to like literally a junkyard with a stage. I think it was in the Bronx. Do you remember?
Was that Jersey? I think I was there for that.
Were you there?
Wasn't Lauryn Hill and the Fugees, they rhymed there, or they were supposed to show up?
They were supposed to show up, but it was literally like a junkyard.
It was I think that was Jersey somewhere.
And it was a stage.
Yeah, it was
And
weird.
this black woman wanted to manage me.
Oh shit, I remember.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
It was so weird when I think
Yeah.
about it now.
That shit was crazy.
It was just so weird, man. Said, look, when I think about it now, I'm like, why did I do that shit?
Yeah.
Because
I
if it
couldn't
was my
imagine.
kid, I'm just thinking if it was my kid going to the Bronx to perform on
junkyard.
stage at a
but
junkyard.
Your mom didn't know that shit.
No, of course not. I mean, she didn't even understand what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like, what
You're
are you
wasting your
doing?
life, Richie.
Yeah, for damn sure she was saying that shit.
I mean, that had to have been
What's
like,
wrong with Richie?
that had to have been like most parents, right? Like
Who the
most
fuck is doing auditions in a junkyard?
That's how it was, though. It was weird.
American.
Like I remember when I met with I don't even
Dude.
remember who I met. It was like a meeting for Rough Riders, and it was in some dude. You know who it was? It was this dude's crib who was on The Wire.
Which one?
The homeless dude, the crackhead, that actor.
Why? Not Andre.
Yeah, the
Andre?
crackhead.
With the glasses?
Yeah, the light skinned dude.
Yeah.
With the long skinny face.
That's Dre. Andre. Yeah.
I somehow end up at his crib with my other manager, who was
Who
like,
was that? Tamir?
No, it was this black dude who was like he was a barber. wait.
Yo, Krieger was trying anything, man.
you can't even make this up. Man. This is too good, bro.
This was my new manager. So he,
It was a barber.
but I knew he was official for some reason because he had a Range Rover.
He had the
All that
4.0 and
barber
the
money.
4.6.
He had a 4.0. Though. He wasn't a 4.6.
Yeah.
But I remember he was like so he was like a professional womanizer.
Oh wow.
So I felt like he had all these like he was like getting on. So the first time I heard a dude like, yeah, I went to Miami, I went to Bahamas, and a woman paid for this. She got me this. The shorty's paying for this Range Rover and all of this. And I was like, damn, man, it's like dude's like a pimp, like it's crazy. And he was like, no, I'm gonna get you on Rough Riders. So we went to that dude's crib.
Yeah.
I remember he answered the door. It was like a walk
This
up.
is so crazy.
I know it was a walk up. I went to his crib and then we met with somebody from Rough Riders. And I started rhyming. I played some beats and I rhymed again. And he was like, yo, you two like miracle, lyrical, like you like on some Keith Murray, like miracle. I want you to be more like Eminem.
Didn't they pass on you for gin?
No.
Yeah, they did.
That's not what happened.
They did.
Yeah, it is. I remember that shit.
They didn't.
They were like, you're too much like this other dude we have. He's Asian too.
No. Now you're making up shit. He knows he's making
Another
up shit.
Chinese boy.
No, because Gin happened like 2 years later.
But yeah, it was 2 years in the making. It's around the same time you
No,
met.
no.
That's how I remember that story.
No. It was because, do you remember when we almost smacked Jim in the face?
Where was
It was
that?
outside of Fat Beats, and he was selling his CDs.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Shit, right?
We was about to set it on him, and they started apologizing.
Yeah.
Yo,
I mean, I don't know if we should put
yo,
that
son,
on.
I'm glad you here because that was the funny. Like I said that story, and I was just like, some of these motherfuckers, like, that did not happen.
Yeah.
We were walking out of Fat Beats. This was like before he blew up on 106 in Park.
Yeah.
So look, this meeting that I had was in like the 90s, like early like 99 or something. So it was like when I had that meeting with Rough Riders, they were like, we want you to be like Eminem. We want you to rhyme about being Chinese or whatever the fuck you are. They didn't care, right? So I was just like, nah, like they're like, I was like, I don't even know how to speak Korean, and I don't even have any Korean friends,
right?
So I don't even know what you're talking about, and I think it just never happened. And then, we were going record shopping and everything. We were outside of Fat Beats, and then we bumped into Jen selling his like CD, right? And I fucking went up and I was like, and I was trying to support him because he was an Asian rapper.
Right.
And I think I was working at the time and I was like, yo, like, here's $20. And he just started saying some smart ass shit.
I don't remember what it was, but
well, like $20 wasn't
was he
enough
by
for him
himself?
or something?
I
himself?
think he was making fun of my accent.
Yeah.
So he thought he's like, oh, because I think we were like working business jobs, right? So I had a collar shirt, you had a collar shirt, I think.
I don't remember.
I swear to God, that's what it was. So I was like, yeah, no. I said, yo, your shit's dope. Like, I'm gonna lace you. I'm like, yeah, I got you. I lace you up. He's like, oh, you gonna lace me up? And I was just like, yeah. I was like, here's 20. He's like, you want change? I'm like, nah, keep that. Like, you hold that shit. He's like, you hold that. And I'm just like, yo, is there like a fucking problem? And he's like, no, there's no problem. And then I think you were just like, you were about to just set it. You were just like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
And you were just like, yo, man, like, is there a fucking problem? And then we just started like rolling up to them. And Jin's like small.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was talking that shit.
Was he by himself? I can't.
No, he had this one other. We were like mirror images. He had another black dude with him.
It was like the bizarre world.
He's like, we're mirror images.
It was like we were looking in the mirror.
2 years before.
Like, this is us.
And I swear to God, I looked at him. I was like, yo, I got Jin. You take care of the other dude. I'll beat the shit out of this motherfucker right now. And then he started backing up. Like, yo, no. No, it's all good. It's all good. And I was like, y'all stupid. Y'all. And I was like, yo, I said something like, you a punk ass motherfucker. Like, I literally gave you money to support you and you talking shit.
Right.
I was like, yo, you never gonna make it in this shit. I said something like that. You
were
remember
right
that?
about that, right?
Yeah. I mean, there we go.
It be your own people, man. See?
That's crazy, though. I remember that shit.
That's wild.
Man. I'm glad you're a witness to all these horrible memories of me trying to.
I'm just picturing in your head with y'all with shirt and tie, like,
trying to beat down some kids.
He's like mocking you at the same time. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah. I remember I was like, I was so tight and so disappointed.
Yeah, you get tight a lot though.
Nah,
Pause.
come on. Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You could fly off the handle. I've seen you get upset. I mean, I feel I don't think we've been in a scrap together though, but we've been close. Like not me and you, but just you popping off on someone.
We got into a scrap on 96 for some reason.
Me and you?
What are you talking about? Like we scrapped together?
No,
Yeah, like scrap.
Like y'all got
Besides
you
together.
two got into
Yeah,
it with
two
someone.
versus
with someone else. Yeah, on the same side.
Oh, I thought you meant us fighting.
No.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to talk about.
About what? Were you,
No.
were you around?
I don't want to
to
go. I don't want to go this deep. Into
Okay, all right.
You got to edit some of this out.
I take that.
Now we're going into like
I do got
alcoholism and.
Well, there is a story related to alcohol that I think should try and get on this podcast right here, which is when you lived on 102nd and
Yeah,
Lex?
102nd Lex.
Do you remember that story?
When-
Started with you drinking downtown. It involved like shit flying out of the cab, being trailed up the fucking 4 flights of stairs. Do you know what I'm talking
Wait,
about?
what do you? Is this when I threw up in the stairs?
You didn't throw up. You threw up out of your ass, maybe.
Oh wait, are you talking about when I shit in my pants?
Yes. Yeah.
Haven't we said we talked about this?
We don't have to go there. That's just too embarrassing. Yeah.
Wait.
You threw up out of your ass.
We're like 30 minutes into this podcast, and you just want to talk about. You couldn't wait to bring up the story about me shitting in my pants. Oh my god! I swear we've talked about this before.
No.
Man.
Never.
For real?
No, we can't. That shit, I think it's too much.
No.
It's-
Fuck
you
it. Let's
can't-
go in.
No.
Let's go in.
Well,
You weren't with me though, right?
No, but I heard the story. I know
yeah.
the story.
You love this story.
vividly.
Yeah.
Vividly. I told my child that story. She doesn't believe it.
Wow.
He was like, "There's no way this shit happened."
You was drinking so much that you shitted on yourself?
I was yo, son, like you gotta understand, like I was semi-young, right?
Yeah.
I think I was not even 21.
Yeah, this was young stuff.
I was like
because
19.
he started working like before most people.
Yeah, I was working, and I remember my job. I was
was
working
with fucking Koreans
Yeah.
drinking hard.
So I was working 12 hours a day,
Uh-huh.
7 days a week.
And your uncle used
Yeah,
to take
my
you out to
uncle's spot.
fucking Korea.
So I would start at 7 a.m. and I do manual labor to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
and I worked
Yeah, no
6
joke.
days a week.
Wow.
And if that was from my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't giving me no free rides.
That's
but-
still no excuse though.
Yeah. No, but wait. So these dudes would go out to drink afterwards, and they kind of taught me how to drink, and like But there was like one night they just went like, it's like the first time maybe like I like overdrank.
Was they all Koreans?
Yeah, it's all Koreans. It's like after work drinking.
Yeah.
And I just you just don't like you're drunk, so you don't really know what the fuck's going on. So I like left them and I had to take a shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I had nowhere to go. So I was like, I saw an ATM, right? Like like I saw a bank.
Yeah.
So I went into the bank and I was like, am I gonna take a shit in a bank? So I went to there's like rows of ATMs.
Yeah.
So I stood in front of the ATM and I said, maybe if I like turn around,
Jesus Christ, man.
right? Wait, listen. So I was like,
toot a little bit.
yo, by the way, when I tell this story, can you just not have the camera on me? So I was in the ATM and there's the rows. So I stood in the rows, but there's like the banquettes. It's like the piss guards in the urinals.
Right.
So you can't really see, right?
You
So
can
I'm like,
still see.
a little, yeah, of course you can, but I'm fucking an idiot. I'm like 19. So I'm like, I stand in front of there and I start unbuckling my pants and I'm about to take a shit. And then of course someone walks in. So this person walks in and I got to turn around, pretend I'm getting money out, and then they leave. And I was like, oh shit. But when you ready to shit?
Yeah.
So when I started buckling my pants and I was going there, I was like pretending, and
There's no way to stop that.
And it's
inertia.
the fucked up thing when you got to take a shit, you holding it. Wait. The amount of sweat that starts coming out.
It's intense.
Yeah.
It's
Yo.
intense.
You start pressurizing. You start fucking sweating like a motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
So I'm over
Perspiring.
here and I'm like, yo, I'm pouring. Like it's just pouring out of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. And it just starts coming out while I'm at the ATM.
It's nothing you could do.
And I feel it, that was the era when you kind of wore baggy pants.
Yeah.
Because imagine now, everyone was wearing like tight jeans or like fitted jeans.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit would just stay on your ass, right?
It would be plastered.
It would just be plastered on your ass like diapers, right? So I would have gotten home and like there would have been ass, like there would have been just like a big bowl of ass in my jeans, right?
Yeah, like just like clay.
But I had these baggy jeans at the time, and you know we all wore like super baggy boxers too,
bows.
right?
yeah.
So we had I had baggy boxes, baggy jeans, right? So the shit would just plop down and fall down my leg. So I felt the shit like hitting,
running
hitting
down.
my leg.
Nah, man.
But it was solid shit. It wasn't like diarrhea, right?
You just had a log.
So I
one
felt like you know like
You can
like,
pick it up. You can take it out.
I felt like meatballs of it just dropping like pop, 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 right? Yeah. And so you know at the time you have like the boot cut, like the baggy jeans. So you have the baggy jeans. You have like the buildup of fabric from the baggy jeans at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So at the bottom of my right leg was probably like a whole pile of shit just sitting on my ankle.
Did you like lift your leg up and it just started falling?
No. So
The story gets better. It gets much better.
So then for some reason, right? Well, by the way, we haven't talked about anything on this show.
No.
I was gonna say this. You wanted life lessons today.
And I got a couple of questions too.
Okay.
All right. First of all, what street? Where was you at? What street?
Downtown, like 19th, right?
No. It was like it was around 28th Street, around Park Avenue.
You could go to a McDonald's because I know McDonald's.
No, I couldn't find. There was nothing. It was like it wasn't
late night,
open.
too.
It was like super late. It was like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning.
And what was you gonna wipe your ass with?
I mean, that wasn't my. I was like,
You was just gonna shit. In
listen, I had
shit in the ATM
right now.
booth.
I'm in the ATM and I shit in my pants. Right, so I walk out and I don't know what to do. So I'm like, I need to head home. So I get a cab. So I get in the cab, and the cab driver's driving. He's like, "Oh, what's that smell?" And I'm like drunk, so I'm like, "I don't know, just keep driving." He's like, "Oh my god." He's like, "Did you step in shit?" Like, and I'm like, "I don't know, maybe it was the customer before me." And he's like, "Holy." So then he opens all the windows like all 4 windows. He just
At the same time?
at the same time, like zzz. He's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "You check your shoes. You sure you didn't step in shit?" And I'm like, "Just keep driving, just keep driving." And so so the whole time I'm like super embarrassed, obviously, but I'm drunk, right?
Yeah.
So like these weird, like these dumb, like ideas are coming into my head. So I'm like, yo, what if I eliminate some of the smell by like throwing some of the shit out, you know?
Yeah.
That's built up at the bottom of my jeans. So then I go and I reach into my jeans.
Oh shit!
And I start like shoveling snow into my hands. And I tossing it out the window. And I'm like, I'm like shoveling, I'm taking shit and I'm shoveling it out and I'm like shoveling it and I'm throwing it out. He's like, "What are you throwing out the window?" I'm like, "Yo, just keep driving, yo." And then I was like, "Yo, if you keep talking, like I'm gonna fucking snap. So just keep driving, right?" So by that time, I eliminated the pile of shit that was at the bottom of my
But you
jeans.
still had shit in your hands,
Of
though.
course. So then I wiped that at the bottom of his cab.
Oh shit, man.
Where like I just wiped my shit over there. And then I got home and I
You're leaving shit out. You're leaving shit out.
What did happen?
Because when you got home, you told me the story that there was still shit coming out of your jeans.
Right.
And he lived on the top like 4-story walk up.
So was it
like
leaking
leaving
out?
fucking
No,
shit
no.
all the way up the stairs.
Was it like Hansel and Gretel leaving like
no,
trails
because you
of
told
shit?
me that you got home, you took your shit off, but the next day your super was like, "Yo, what the fuck happened? There's a trail of shit leading all the way up the stairs," and you're like, "Yo, I don't know, man. It's just nasty though."
And then so when I got home, I just went into my bathtub and I took everything out and I just had to like,
Did you throw away your clothes or you washed it? like the boxes and the pants.
I threw away the boxes and shit, but I think I kept the jeans. Like I salvaged the jeans somehow, and I was cleaning the shit.
Oh my god!
But yeah, that's reflections.
You paid
of
the
a DJ.
dude with like shitty cash.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm just imagining shitty. You got shitty hands. You gotta reach into your wallet and grab like a 20.
And I just I don't know.
I feel bad about the cab for the cab driver.
I do too. Definitely. I definitely feel bad.
I imagine him just like, holy shit. What is that smell?
Why are you making us talk about this shit? Like literally, how long was that? That was like 15 minutes.
Was that a
of
15-minute
shit
story?
in the-
But that shit was
in the
funny.
pants.
Oh, that was
It's a
great.
funny story.
Fuck, that was
Fuck, I love that story, man. It
love that
never gets old. No matter how many people I tell that shit to, they all die.
So yo, have y'all seen the Grammys? Can we talk about the Grammys now or something?
Oh man.
Oh,
We need more stories.
No.
give me another one, Leonardo. Hey, make it hot.
Hey, so Mike Rappaport posted something recently, right?
Oh yeah.
So since we're talking about New York and all the shit stories and rapping over there, he posted something on Twitter and like Instagram, and I thought it was kind of interesting because I never really thought about it. But it seems like an easy answer, right? But he was asking a question. I think it was, what's the most NYC hip hop record? And I think obviously he meant it in a personal way for each person or just in general.
I felt like in general.
It's
So
talking general.
basically asking what is one record that literally defines New York City hip hop. And I think we were talking about this, right?
Feel like you need to define an era though, because it's so broad.
But you
How about
can't do.
this-
That's why it's so
so
hard.
broad,
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's why it's so hard because it's so broad.
Because
You
the
have to
answer
pick-
is almost generational, right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It is generational, but it isn't because now you have to pick one song that actually is recognizable to every generation
generation. It's
and
hard.
respected by every generation, and it defines that city
Right.
through the generations.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a hard question, right? And then motherfuckers were saying like the message, and I'm like, I don't know if that. I think that's a good answer, but it doesn't represent. I think it was Mighty Mai that said the message.
I agree with him. I would say the message.
You think that
New York
defines?
hip hop?
I mean,
But
the
like
problem,
you said,
it describes hip hop.
It depends on which
Like,
era you're talking about, though, because the message.
No, but it can't be an
that was-
era. It has to just define New York City hip hop.
Well, I think it describes New York at a specific time.
Yeah,
like
but
shit,
it- but
I
it's
think
not
that's
like-
why it embodies what people think of New York.
No, but it has to be in like an anthem. It has to be something of an anthem that you hear it and you're like, every generation is like, yo, New York. It makes you proud to be in New York. You know what I'm saying?
As a LA person, I think there's only one that I can think of kind of across the board.
Yeah, I'm actually.
For-
I want to hear
for
from
New
the
York or
LA.
LA?
I want to hear
New York.
So
Yeah.
D and Jamie from LA. I want to
Yeah.
hear what y'all think is the song that basically represents or is the most New York City record, hip hop record.
You have something or no? Because I have something.
I'm thinking.
I think I know what the record is.
Yeah.
If you want to hear what I think it is,
I'll tell you what it is, and then you tell me if I'm wrong or right.
what is it?
Juicy.
Maybe.
Juicy is respected across the board in
Maybe.
every generation. Everybody knows the lyrics.
But you can say that by just about any Biggie song.
There's
But
not hypnotized-
what
not
about
hypno-
Juicy though says New York though?
It's just
I was actually going to say
that's a good one.
hypnotized.
Leonardo.
You see?
I was going to say hypnotized just because when that beat drops, it just sounds like New York. It just sounds like that boom.
So here's my answer, right?
Yeah.
I think Shook One's part 2.
That's my second one. But
I
I don't
think-
think
I think you hear
generational
that-
wise, everybody knows.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows
it's-
it, and you hear that.
It's very distinct.
To all my killers in the $100 bills.
Yeah.
Boom. It's like that's New York shit. That's like
But
when I
does-
think of that, I think of the subway, right?
Well-
I think of Timberland boots. I think of like.
I
But
think
does
it's a
this
video.
generation know that song? I don't know.
That's
I
the
thi-
thing. I don't.
I
think
would
this
say
generation
I agree
knows.
with Mighty Mai. I would say the message because that beat and then the lyric is like a jungle sometimes. It makes you wonder how I keep from going under. Everybody knows that shit.
I agree with you. I just think that only represents a certain generation.
But think
does,
about it, bro.
that record doesn't even represent my generation.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on what generation.
No, but
But
we're
no,
talking
but
about
that's not. But
across
that's the point
board.
of the record. That's the point of this question.
Across the
It
board.
kind of has to go across the board on all generations.
But then, like, somebody
there's
from
no-
the 80s don't feel it, might not agree with you about Shook
I feel
Ones.
like motherfuckers from the 80s will 100% think Shook One's Part 2 is an
But not this generation, though, right?
I think
They might. They do. They might.
I think Juicy has one up on Mobb Deep on that.
I don't think Juicy. I think Hypnotized. If you were gonna pick a pop record,
Sicker than your
I was
average.
gonna. I would maybe say Hypnotized.
Dog, you just can't. That Hypnotize. Okay, we put Hypnotize against Juicy, right? It was all a dream. That everybody knows those fucking lyrics, and if you don't know, now you know. But Hypnotize is like sicker than your average. So.
But I think it's just the way that it makes you feel.
It's
like the way that
it's the
that
beat
song
problem,
makes you
yeah.
feel is what I
And I'm
feel
talking about
like
the
something
video.
about New York.
You're not thinking about the video. The Hypnotize video is in Miami and shit.
It's true.
Wearing suits, and then in Juicy, he's in front of the stoop.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I
Different.
think the fact that it has a sample, like certain things like about Hypnotize just makes me feel something about New York. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't.
Like
I don't hear New York.
his lyrics are New York, but the way that beat drops and the reaction it gets feels like something out of New York. You know what I mean? Like
He's talking
Juicy is just so
about drug dealing,
chill.
Juicy.
But I feel like the lyrics should be considered
Give you that New York
New
vibe.
York vibe. Exactly.
You want to clear your throat before you
I
keep
know.
talking? Fucking give me like
fucking frog was trying to talk.
I know, right? No, the lyrics have to do something to do with the song with New York also. That's why I would say the message. Cause I was like the whole song is talking about New York during that era. And I was like everything he was saying, I either lived it or I seen somebody go through it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why
You know what other song I'll put in the conversation from a LA person outside looking in is Triumph by Wu-Tang.
Nah.
nah, that was
I don't even
No, that's what I'm
put it
saying.
in
From an LA perspective, maybe you guys probably see it totally different, but for me, like, I didn't really get exposed to too much East Coast music.
Yeah.
So Wu-Tang was just one of those groups that kind of crossed over to the West, and Triumph was a huge record, and individuals too.
It only
That
sucks.
beat.
It only sucks because like Staten Island is like barely New York, kind of a little bit. You know
But
what
not
I'm saying?
even that. That record to me, I don't think that was.
It
really,
wasn't.
It
That
didn't
was like
hit
a
in New
big
York.
If
It
anything,
didn't. Yeah, it didn't hit in New York.
Protect Your Neck is more of a New
I would
York.
say
record.
that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Protect
Yeah.
Your Neck.
Is it more just raw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to understand, like when I think of New York, I think of the winners, right? I think of like rooftop parties. I think of all of this shit, like, and to me, 80s hip hop, 2000s hip hop. I think it all it has to be somewhere in the 90s. That song has to be somewhere in the 90s for me.
Yeah.
I think.
because you grew up in that era.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but
so
the
that's
thing is,
your perspective. Exactly.
no, it's my
Exactly,
perspective, but I
yeah.
also think like I heard the classics. So if I was gonna look at like, yo, what is the most NYC record to you? Automatically, we were talking about this. I would maybe even think of like Audio 2, Top Billing.
This
That's-
is
that was one of mine.
Yeah, just because the Go Brooklyn.
It's like it can't
The
be just
drums.
one record. It's a couple.
What about New York State of Mind?
I was gonna say
Nas.
that.
I was gonna say Nas, but
That's
New
too
York State of
obvious.
yeah.
That was man.
And
When I hear
if
that
it-
beat,
Right.
I automatically think some New York shit. When I hear that beat,
I stand by Shook Ones. I stand by Shook Ones Part 2.
Yeah?
yeah. I just think that's
I'm
so
not,
New York.
I'm not mad at that one, but Juicy's for me.
yeah.
Now, what do you guys think
So
about?
Never's Message, right?
Yeah.
So what if we switch this around and we did it LA? What is the most LA record?
Easy. California Love. Tupac.
Nah.
Think so?
I would that wouldn't be.
I
that goes.
Wait,
but
wait.
That's the difference, right? Like I could see.
See,
from-
I think Boys in the Hood.
I think nothing but a G thing.
Boys in the Hood is really yeah.
I think he has that.
I think Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
That's I think for me, and
Damn, you hit the
I'll
button on that
explain
one.
why.
That was a good one. That was a good.
I'm gonna say nothing but a G thing.
Yeah, that's what I said.
because
With you on that.
it actually
So
describes.
we all agree it's a Dr. Dre.
It's a
which is
Dr. Dre
amazing.
production.
That's
Dr.
amazing.
Dre
Yeah.
did.
Well, you know what?
Hold on, I'm a battle D on this one. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Talk about
I want to
the
say
thing.
nothing but a G thing because it kind
I'm
of
a
like
D.
addresses every step in like a LA dude's day.
Yeah, but it's missing one.
You know what I'm
thing.
saying? You start at the barbecue, then you end at the house party, and then you got the 6'4s. You know what I'm saying? It's just
And
it just
even that
encompasses everything about LA. That
That
beat is
like
crazy.
the LA vibe.
When you
right
drop
there.
it, you know what I'm saying? Everything about that shit.
It's not gonna be Boys in the Hood because Boys in the Hood has a whole last day, and he speaks about the car culture more so than Nothing But a G Thing.
Yeah.
That's why I think Nothing But a G Thing is a perfect anthem for LA across the board.
I also
But I don't know if that's like a New York thing, right? So like we're talking about quintessential cross the board, right? So I don't know if New York really vibe with Boys in the Hood.
No, we're saying what's the most LA
No, I know.
Yeah,
but from a New York,
No,
from like
your perspective.
yeah, from the
Oh.
perspective of across the.
You know
the
what? The
country.
only reason why I say Boys in the Hood because it's the first essence of like L.A. Cali gangster rap that
was the introduction.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, outside of like Colors from Ice-T,
Yeah,
right?
but who in this generation?
But
knows
even
that?
Colors might be up there. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Colors
that's
is
just us, bro.
It was never that
Colors.
big of a song
Colors.
like that.
No, but like in
I mean,
New
it's
York,
not- it's
we
not a
love
classic-
that song.
It's not a classic though.
Really?
Not really.
I
I
love
feel
that
like
song.
that was a big song for us. Like we would listen
You
to
couldn't
that.
hear that. You wouldn't listen to that shit in the club.
Nah,
Now-
not in New York.
Not in
I
a
don't-
club. No, but like we would listen to that shit. Like it was the first time we was like,
No, man.
But what?
we were like singing those lyrics. You don't know me, fool. You just saw me, cool.
But this is my final argument with D. They wouldn't know beat, no nothing but a G thing without Boys in the Hood.
Wait,
Yeah, but
Wait,
who
wait.
knows? Who knows? Boys in the Hood.
What about Deep Cover?
Nah.
Get
That was a great song. But
That
I
was a
think-
great song, but that reminds me of Pun every time.
Really? You think that record reminds you of Pun?
Yeah,
because the twins.
yeah.
Dead in the middle of literally.
Yeah, that fucking verse is.
Well, I almost said if we're gonna call it across the board, that's still relevant, like heavy relevant for us as DJs. I almost said Still Dre. Almost, because I mean it's a little obviously. I think Nothing But a G Thing came out in '93. Still Dre came out in '99.
What about What's My Name, Snoop Dogg?
I thought about for impact in LA. I think Nothing But a G.
So once again, anything that Dr. Dre produced is
Yeah, because we didn't have anything outside.
represent
Of
the
that.
West Coast.
Dre was the West Coast.
I mean, you say California Love.
The only other
right?
producers that were really doing something at that time was DJ Quick, who was like he's amazing musician and producer, but he just wasn't doing it on the grand scale as Dr. Dre.
So
That's
wait,
really it, right?
So what are your answers? You what did D?
I'm
What are you
sticking-
saying?
I'm
Y'all
sticking
are from LA.
I'm
so
sticking with Nothing But a G Thing.
nothing.
I'm
but a
not
G
mad
thing.
at it, but Boys in the Hood to me is.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. For y'all, like what would you say for y'all, like as New Yorkers?
I think Boys in the Hood. I think that
Yeah.
shit is like
And I think California Love.
Leonardo says that
California Love makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah, I'm with D. Nothing but a G thing.
It's funny. It's all Dr. Dre shit.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. He was literally. I mean,
He was in every era, right? Like
Yeah.
from the beginning.
from the
it's-
'80s to
To
current.
today.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like what was '80s hip hop like in LA? Like
We didn't have that. We had NWA.
We had like what was,
It was like the
Was it just
I would
NWA?
say that corny shit like JJ Fad,
yeah, I was gonna say like
Which Dr. Dre
Supersonic.
produced.
But that's Dr.
What
Dre.
about Too Short?
Arabian Night.
That's the Bay Area.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
and
oh,
it was just such two different worlds. Like
oh,
E42
let's do the Bay.
short.
Let's do the Bay. What is the most Bay Area?
has to be a Too Short.
Anything but Too Short.
Yeah.
It got to man blow
No.
the whistle.
Blowjob
Whistle, yeah.
Blowjob Betty.
You were
That's not
too
a bad
happy
one.
when you said that one.
Honestly, it has to be for me. It has to be blow the whistle.
Yeah,
Yeah, that has to be Blow the
I would
Whistle.
say so.
Like that song in any generation. I don't care how long.
I mean, look at
now, you
Sweetie.
can
She
drop blow
just
the whistle,
redid
man.
it.
Like that song is an anthem in the Bay. Still,
Still,
like you can drop that in any Bay Area. I mean, really anywhere, right? Like we still play it.
we could do this with like almost any
I was
city.
I was
right?
gonna ask you Miami.
Miami. It got to be two.
Anything by Luke.
Yeah.
Anything to Live Crew.
I big
right?
birthday. What's that?
It's your birthday.
No,
It's
no,
your
no.
birthday.
Come on, babe. Oh no, no, no. You're talking about
baby.
Don't
Scarred.
stop, pop that pussy.
Do the brown. Do the brown.
Do the brown.
I wanna rock. I wanna rock.
I want to ride. Yeah.
Yeah. That's you think that's that's Miami?
I mean,
That's the quintessential most Miami.
but you know what's crazy?
This
Two
is
Like
a-
Crew. Two Like
But
Crew is
anything
from
by Two Live Crew though.
Two Like Crew is from L.A.
It's like Doodle Brown, Doodle Brown.
You know Two Like Crew is they're from L.A.
Ain't nothing more Miami than Doodle Brown.
Do the brown. Hoochie Mama.
All right, this is gonna be a very hard one. Atlanta.
Hey, yo.
Pause.
Hey.
That's kind of day for the year. Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
Atlanta's
Atlanta. This is
Outkast.
disrespectful. This is disrespectful too because whatever the fuck we say, someone who was born and raised in Atlanta
Yeah.
is gonna be like, y'all motherfuckers are crazy.
The dude that's saying "Shake It" is from Atlanta, right? Boom, shake it, shake it. Remember
That's
that
not
shit?
Atlanta to me.
I thought that was Miami.
Nah,
I have a
I would
question.
say
Oh, I got
ATL.
it.
For some reason, whenever I think of Atlanta, I think of Ludacris first.
really?
I think of
Before
Usher. I'm gonna go with
I think
yeah.
of Outkast.
No. You're absolutely right. How did I forget about Outkast? I don't know why. But as soon as he said
what would-
Atlanta, I was thinking Ludacris.
But what record from Outkast would you say?
It's
So
Jackson.
many.
Miss
Jackson.
No.
Jackson.
Nah,
Let's turn
it would have
Across
to be.
the board.
It would
I would
have to be
say-
from the first.
I would say seven
Seven
player.
It has to be from that first album.
But
Yeah, man.
but this generation
yeah,
doesn't know about
no,
that
they
shit.
know
So
Miss Jackson.
I'm with Jamie.
Miss
Oh,
Jackson.
yeah.
Because it
Forever?
crosses
Forever,
every
ever?
yeah.
Come on, bro.
It crosses every
But
generation.
that song doesn't.
But
sound
that was like really Atlanta.
Yeah, I was gonna say that song
listen,
doesn't
that was-
sound like Atlanta. to me.
Exactly, yeah.
Like when I think of Atlanta, I think about the first two Outkast albums.
I'm about to say Elevators.
I think
also.
about
Elevators is dope.
I think about the second T.I. album, Trap Music, right?
24.
And then the early Jeezy stuff, like that to me is Atlanta.
Yeah.
But you see, it's a problem because I think "Players Ball" is one of the greatest hip hop songs ever.
Yeah,
made.
that's what I'm saying. Those
Yeah.
first two Outkast albums.
But if it doesn't translate to him,
then he can't.
then
he
we're
doesn't
wrong.
qualify.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Then it's
Because he did.
Miss Jackson.
I think Miss Jackson.
there's no way Miss
But I feel
Jackson.
Miss Jackson is
Atlanta.
nah. That's not Atlanta, man.
I almost
It's
think Rosa Parks. Like I would put Rosa Parks above Miss Jackson.
What about any?
Dude, it's got to be "Players Ball" because
Yeah.
even
But
in-
it doesn't scream. You're right, because it's not just what people know. It's
even-
what it represents.
Yeah,
right?
even
So,
in
like,
that song, like when Shorty's singing, when she's like at the end, or when she's saying all the different counties in Atlanta, she's like Decatur,
Yeah.
the Cobb. She was saying all that shit, and then we were like seeing these motherfuckers for the first time.
What about? Okay, sorry.
But I'm very curious to talk to a motherfucker from Atlanta,
Yeah.
or three motherfuckers from Atlanta, and to have them tell us what
And I think-
the quintessential most Atlanta record is.
Because when you think of Atlanta, they went through some phases, right? Like
There's a lot of phases.
sure.
you went through like Crisscross, right?
Yeah.
Like that early area of Crisscross, and they were killing it. And then
Jermaine
it kind of
Dupri.
went into the Jermaine Dupri era, and then you kind of had like
Well, you had
trap
the snap-
music
you had
era.
the snap-
yeah, the snap
snap
music
era.
era.
And you have Get Low, and you have Lil
and then
Jon.
you have
Yeah,
that
Little
era with the
John.
Yin Yang Twins. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
yeah, Get Low and Salt Shaker, and then it went into the trap music era with Jeezy.
I don't know,
Gucci
but I'm
Mane.
looking at a list right now. So Fresh, So Clean.
I mean, So
was-
Fresh, So Clean is way better than Miss Jackson.
It's going down, Young Jog.
Man, that's a huge.
What You Know, T.I.
We might be disrespecting Lil
I
Jog.
think-
Young Jog, bro. That might be the record.
Going down.
It's going down. That's a huge record for Atlanta.
I don't know about that one.
Or did it get so big that it crossed over and it's not really an Atlanta record anymore?
I was thinking What You Know, T.I. just because of the movie and how that represented it. And once you hear those beginning, synths.
For something that feels like Atlanta for me from T.I. would be 24s.
We can't answer it because we have to actually we have to talk to someone from Atlanta to really get that.
Oh, but this is our opinion from
So
outside.
you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I want to
Because like we're not mentioning Gucci Man.
Gucci
know,
Mane,
yeah.
Icy.
Yeah, because I was funny. I was
Lemonade.
Yeah.
I was talking to Spencer Tracy, and his like down south sets insane. Like Spencer Tracy, like whenever we talk, like I would be like, yo, I need to get like some down south records from you.
Yeah.
I need some, like, you need to lace me and shit. And then he always says, well, what kind of down south do you want? Because the down south records you want, we don't even consider those down south in the down south.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, I'll give you a bunch of down south records and you won't even know what the fuck they are. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, if we talk to someone from Atlanta, they'll probably say a bunch of songs that we never even fucking heard
Yeah.
of.
And that's the beauty of Atlanta. And I think the Bay Area is that way too, is that they can literally, them artists can go platinum in their own city, man. Just off of that fact that there's so much heat in the city that gets circulated in the strip clubs and in the clubs that we never hear. It never makes it to radio. It never makes it to the West Coast. Same with the Bay, man. There's so many Bay Area artists that like are successful only in the Bay, and that's all they need is because the city itself is just it's thorough enough for them to succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're probably right. Like Atlanta, there's probably shit that we don't even know about that's popping in the strip clubs right now.
Yeah. It's an interesting question though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? I have another question. This
Yeah.
might be a part 2 to what we're talking about right now. I saw this online. So somebody asked, who had a longer run in hip hop, New York or Atlanta?
Right.
And I was thinking about that.
I think
And
I saw that, Nev, or maybe you put it in the group chat or
And
something.
I don't even, and I was thinking about it, and I was, of course, I'm gonna say New York,
No.
but I hate to say it. I think maybe
Atlanta.
Really? Had a longer run in hip hop.
Wait,
What era was Atlanta?
Well, you got to think it's
Damn.
2020, right? The decade is 2020, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
New York, do we even have a bone in a fight? Is that correct?
Yeah.
A dog in a
Is
fight.
that a dog in a fight? Do we have a
You have a dog in the fight? Yeah.
do we have a dog in a fight for the 2010s?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, you
No.
do.
Hot
Yeah,
boy?
You do.
No, we don't.
Bobby Shmurda.
Compared to Atlanta,
But you do have a bona fide. You
was
have Pop
one-
Smoke. You have Bobby Shmurda. You have French.
Bobby
Montana.
Shmurda had one
You saying the
song.
2010s. 2010.
That's what I'm saying.
So no,
Oh,
not
Pop Smoke
yeah.
is new. Sorry.
So the only
I mean,
2010s.
Pop Smoke is like the end of 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Dude, I was breaking it down like New York was running things. Of
All
course,
right, wait, let's
but-
go through it. Let's go through it. The 70s, obviously, New York,
Yeah.
right? That's one.
Yeah,
So
no, not
keep,
even the 70s. Hip hop was started like in the 80s, 1980s.
so let's
okay,
start.
let's someone keep track of Atlanta.
Okay.
Let's count it by decade.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So 70s, 80s, let's put that to one, right? That's
Yeah.
New York. New York has got one.
Right.
90s, New York.
Got that? Yeah,
2000s,
that's when New York kind of fell off.
right? So you actually got to give. Well, how much does New York
Wait,
have now?
But that's hard to say. New York
to-
fell off.
I
'Cause
know,
that's what
because
Jay Z
that
was at his height.
But yeah,
You got Jay Z at his height, Nas at his height.
No. But what happens is like
Yeah, we got
no.
And Biggie.
We have the first half of the 2000s.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta has the
No,
second
no,
half.
no,
No,
no.
you-
Atlanta started in the mid 90s with Outkast.
Yeah, but it didn't have.
was
Come
one
on, that
group.
was like one group. They
one
had
group.
a
All right,
couple
towards
dudes.
the end of the 90s.
No.
Atlanta started.
Atlanta doesn't have.
Ludacris.
Okay, that's when they started.
T.I.
killing. Yes, so,
So
that's
that's 2001.
Usher, Lil Jon.
You can't throw Usher in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would.
Lil Jon.
So you know what? I would do it a tile, a 1-1 with Atlanta. So
Okay.
For what era?
So New York would have 3 and Atlanta would have 1.
For the early 2000s.
For 2000s
Okay,
in general,
okay.
I think it's a tie. You
Yeah.
give them 1, right? So that's 3-1
Right.
Atlanta,
I
right?
mean New York.
And New York, yeah.
Yes.
So then the 2010s, we got to give it to Atlanta,
100%.
Yeah.
right? So either way, New York still wins.
Yeah.
But I think you have to really see.
I feel like it's a tie.
either a tie.
And Atlanta's still going strong right now.
Then the argument is who's winning the 2000s, Atlanta or New York?
Obviously, of course, Atlanta. Yeah.
You think Atlanta wins the 2000s?
Yeah.
How
That's
so?
tough,
though?
man.
Yeah,
you saying
bro,
Atlanta?
you have to give it to Atlanta because they started killing it from 2002, and they kept
And they're
it
still
going to
killing it
now.
right now.
And New York, after Jay-Z retired and Dipset kind of went away,
And-
y'all don't have shit.
But 50 Cent.
That was it,
That's
man. That
into
was the end of the era.
2005.
That was it.
That was it. He had
got
one good
By
album.
2005, New York was done.
Bro,
So you give
Snap
the
Your
you give the
Finger,
2000s. To,
YT. Yeah,
you give the 2000s. But well, come on. We're forgetting about French Montana, right?
Yeah.
We're giving. Come on, bro.
Not
You,
French.
you really.
I love you, but you're reaching.
Yeah, man.
I'm not
No,
reaching.
no, no,
we
reach with
if
French,
we
man.
talking about
I like
if we
French,
talking
but
about
he's
anthems,
not. He's not going up against anybody.
But no, if we talking
I hate
about
to say
if
it,
we talking
man.
about anthems. I don't know if anybody has a bigger record than Pop that from
Yeah,
Atlanta.
you crazy?
Are you crazy? March Madness,
No, but I'm saying
From
on
Atlanta?
a grand scale.
Future dog. Come on,
March Madness you can only play in certain rooms. You can play Pop that in any room.
Yo, fam.
I don't
You
know.
can't shit on French Montana.
You can
because
play
when he
pop
was
that.
No, I
popping, he
love
was
French.
popping.
I am a big French fan.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. But French,
Ocho
he's-
Cinco,
He's
oh,
not
that whole
carrying.
time?
He's not carrying New York by himself.
Exactly.
When Atlanta
He was
is
though. He
stacked.
was. He was at
But
that
not like
time.
that, though, man.
Not
He
like
was.
that, bro.
Yo, fam. He had Ocho Cinco. He had
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you more. Fabulous had his back. You know, Jadakiss had his back a little bit, but it wasn't
doing it like
Future
Atlanta, man.
and that Atlanta sound.
Future
from-
Gucci, man.
And like, bro,
Bro,
come on,
Young
yo, hold
Thug.
up. We disrespecting J. Cole. Come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He's not from New
He's
York.
not from New York, man.
I mean,
But
he was
he was
repping
in New York.
He was repping
repping
Queen.
Yeah.
He was repping Queen.
He blew up in New York, so I consider him New York.
He didn't
Yeah.
start really repping. I don't know. Actually, I don't know his albums that well, but I feel like he really started.
It's North Carolina all day for him, bro.
Has it always been?
Yeah.
So you don't. So you're not
Forest
counting
Hill
Cole.
Drive.
New York was
Yeah.
New York playing J.
No,
Cole?
but he didn't really start pushing like kind of taking it back to North Carolina. I felt like
third album?
till the third album.
Forest Hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in 2014.
I just think that impact, New York was still around. Maybe not in the quantity as Atlanta, but like quality, yeah.
Nah, bro.
'Cause those are some big records, bro.
Bro,
You know what?
The South had that shit on a chokehold.
Let's give the 2000s to Atlanta. Either way,
Okay.
it's a tie.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a
Thousands.
tie.
I don't know, but Atlanta's like still doing it right now.
Yeah,
They're
bro.
going to surpass New York,
Right.
unfortunately.
But
I give it to
be
them.
fair, they were doing it with R&B heavy as well.
Yeah.
Like during that
Jermaine
time, like
Dupri,
Jermaine
come on.
Dupri, with
Right.
like, Jagged Edge, Usher, Donnell Jones, TLC. I mean, they were relevant across the board, not just hip hop. So I think
But we're talking
And-
about just hip hop, yeah. There's a time.
And also, as far as shaping the sound of hip hop,
yeah,
their music is still relevant now.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
like when you hear
Production.
90s and 80s hip hop from New York, it just really sounds like boom bap. It's just another era.
Yeah.
And then that's why a lot of the Atlanta was boom bap heavy, like a what's the group that sings Everyday People? I can't. Arrested Development. They're from Atlanta, but their sound didn't sound nothing like Atlanta. It was heavy boom bap.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah, I think it's a tie.
Yeah.
That was a good argument. That was really
I'm not mad at
It's
that.
a good, yeah.
The tie seems fair.
I don't know if New York can come back.
I don't
Does New
think
York
so.
have a
I don't
sound
think
right
so,
now?
man.
I think that
Yeah, it's
drill,
that Brooklyn drill.
drill is the sound right
Yeah.
now.
Fabio, he has something.
But I don't see that crossing over though.
No.
You don't think so?
tough. I mean, we were at the fucking joint, and you saw how the reaction was. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was not the best.
The problem is, and it's really sad, is that if it was gonna cross over, Pop Smoke was
He was
the person
probably
to
the-
do
That was the
it.
one to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
he had it, bro.
And they're trying to push, what was it, Fabio?
Fabio Ford?
Fabio, yeah, they're trying
Yeah.
to push him as the next one. And I don't
Yo,
think it's gonna
Pop
happen.
Smoke, the last album he did, what was it called?
Shoot for the stars and aim
Yeah.
for the moon.
It's really sad because that album, Shoot for the Stars, like if he was alive, there was so many crossover records on
Yeah,
that
He had a
album.
bunch,
Yeah.
bro.
Like that literally would have been gone pop. It would have been
Yeah.
on pop radio. He would have toured. It would have been an insane tour. He would have shot videos. It would have crossed over so much.
It would have definitely helped New York get
It
back
would have helped
on the
New
map.
York so much,
Yeah.
man. It would have brought it would have started a whole wave, and then all of his crew would have gotten put on.
Yeah.
It would have been like a completely new wave of.
And that sound is so universal with like, it's not maybe universal, but just heavy with like the UK. He would have did so many
Worldwide.
collabs with them dudes like Skepta and Jibbs and all them
Stormzy and
dudes.
all,
Yeah,
yeah.
Stormzy. Like he would have had that shit on lock. I'm pretty, and like I feel like ASAP Rocky tries to get in that lane a little bit.
Yeah.
But he had that lane. You know what I mean? Like he had that sound, like his voice.
Oh, we can't forget about
production.
ASAP. ASAP also had some hits in 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, and you're forgetting about Ferg and all of these
Yeah.
dudes. Like, I mean, New York had a presence in the 2000s.
Maybe because
maybe-
The only problem
Here's
is
the
that
thing. Maybe because it wasn't as big in the 90s as the 2000s.
no, the 2000s was big. The problem is that the music from the 2000s right now, it's more relevant from Atlanta. We're still playing that shit, and it's still getting more of a reaction
Yeah.
Yeah.
than the 2000s hip hop from New York. So we're like, yo, there's more hits from Atlanta. But if we really did the research, I still think there would be more quantity from Atlanta, but I think there were bigger mega hits from New York during that time. But it could be also, it was a shifting of radio
you
and
talking
all
about
these label
the,
things.
The
that was going
anthems
on.
that like the Empire State of Mind from Jay-Z is like still a huge anthem if in the right room. It still gets radio play. You know what I mean? Like there's records that we probably just, like you said, we're missing if we really like went count for count on records.
I mean,
and
the
checked
same
it
thing
out.
with Atlanta also, man.
Yeah.
man, what a good conversation that was.
I enjoyed that.
Should we Chicago through the wire? Just call that a day.
Chicago through the wire. What does that mean?
Oh, like as far as the
Yeah.
Chicago anthems?
Yeah, I would go through the wire.
Chicago?
man.
Wait, you want to say what's the most Chicago record?
Yeah,
Shit, that's not Kanye. I don't know if that's it.
I don't know, man.
Chicago, man. Chicago has so many sounds too.
yeah. It's so
And so
diverse.
many eras. Like you got the early like do or die era, Crucial Conflict,
Common.
Twista, Common. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for some reason, when I think of
Then
like
you have the
real
drill shit.
Chicago shit,
Chief Keef.
I think of like Pope Pimp.
That's what I'm saying. That's the
Do or
shit
die.
that I was in middle school, like entering high school around that time.
Yeah.
And that was when I thought about the slick like flow, the fast flow, the suits, like they was on that pimp shit. you know
Chop
what I
up
mean?
that paper dough. Chop up
Yeah.
that paper dough.
I don't even know that one.
Man, yeah,
You don't know
Pope
Pope
Pimp.
Pimp?
So we lost a generation already.
In the backseat of my caddy.
Chopping up with do or die.
That was the shit, bro. If you had a sound system in your
What
car,
year was that?
Do you want to?
that was like 96, 97, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Of a caddy.
All right, yeah.
It was crazy.
I mean, some people
Twisted
might-
was skinny, had the little go-to.
But we wasn't playing that in New York, though. You was in Chicago at the time, right?
I was going to school in Chicago, so
That's
I was like,
across the board though.
I was in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
motherfuckers was playing that.
Yeah.
Remember
that shit
Still
was
Poe
popping.
Pimpin', the sequel?
Nah, I didn't listen to that
Oh,
shit.
man.
It was all pole pimping. That's
Bro, I don't know why, but that shit resonated in LA.
really.
Big time.
Because the car fucking.
Big time. Yeah, if you had a system and you played that, crazy.
Alpine.
Forget
I'm
it.
trying to think though, if we were to pick a song that was the most Chicago song, I think "Do or Die" Pope Pimp would definitely
Yeah.
be one.
Yeah.
And it'd have to be a Kanye song, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like "Homecoming" or something.
Homecoming's big. I think Through the Wire is big.
I think through the wire's the one, bro.
Really?
Wire's
I don't think
bigger.
of "Through the
I
Wire"
don't
with
know,
Chicago,
man.
bro. Maybe.
Yeah, but then I was like I said, like Chicago, I just feel like went through so many different transitions with sound.
Do you have Lupe Fiasco? We're forgetting.
Okay. Now we're just now.
That we reached.
Now we're reaching, bro. Lupe Fiasco.
Lupe Fiasco had hits.
Kick Push.
Kick Push,
Kick Push.
Daydreaming.
Kick Push
Star-
is a hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Kick Push is a hit.
It was a hit.
Kick,
You didn't
push.
play that in the club, so don't, because you didn't play it again. Doesn't mean it wasn't a hit.
It was popping in the in the high school hallways.
That shit was major. Man.
in the skate parks.
You know it.
Oh, sorry.
You know what? How about Chief Keef?
That's what I was thinking too. So
Finito?
Don't like that.
Finito.
Chicago.
Don't like
Finito might be one.
That's
another one. Yeah.
That song is crazy in the right room.
Sosa though. I love that
Yeah,
one.
but yeah, Finito is like,
Finito might be the
yeah,
one.
man, the energy on that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I smoke.
For sure. Definitely like for the more like later part of
Chicago.
later part of Chicago for sure.
Yeah.
We should definitely talk about the Grammys in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, us three, Jamie, D, and
Right.
myself, we were at the Dreamville Fest.
right.
But never,
I was
you're our reporter.
I was in San Diego on Saturday, so I missed one day. And I came back.
You're supposed to
Sunday
be, our exclusive reporter on
night.
the scene.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I was there Friday though.
Friday and Sunday.
Nas was that on the record.
On the
right?
record, yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
Man, let's just say, remember last time people performed in Vegas at Apex?
Yeah.
And he got kind of little saucy, yeah. And then the managers got mad and whatever.
Well, he couldn't even remember his lyrics.
Yeah.
He was like incoherent, right?
It's kind
I think he did the grand opening for them or something, right?
I want to say
Yeah, yeah,
grand open
yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, so Nas, so Nas did the grand opening for this club. Like,
yeah,
it was in the Palms.
yeah,
Right.
It was like what? I don't know how long.
2018.
So about 4 years ago.
2018.
Yeah, 4
Yeah,
years.
maybe
ago.
like 4 years ago, yeah.
And I remember they were pissed because they wanted their money back.
So it was kind of the same thing that happened at OTR.
Wow.
Damn, man, that hurts me.
And the thing was, he came in late. And he
Same
didn't-
same story.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
And you know what? Shout out to DJ Melstar, because Melstar made him look good.
Okay.
Because Melstar was like kind of pumping him up, like, yo, Nas, do this, do that. And he was like dropping songs, and he was like going back and forth with Nas on the mic.
Yeah.
And that shit sounded dope.
Uh-huh.
So, yo, if it was for Melstar, that shit would have been
Shout out to Mel Star.
Yeah,
a mess,
man.
man. Yeah.
That's crazy that he's done this twice in a row in Vegas.
Well,
Yeah.
of what we know, he's probably does this shit, on the regular.
And that's crazy to think because I remember, I want to say it was 2010 or 11, and I was opening up at another nightclub, and they didn't really promote him because at the time it was just EDM heavy. So I think promoting him might not have been the best look in the club's eyes. So when he performed, it wasn't really a big deal, but I mean, he did an amazing job.
Was it at One Oak?
Nah.
No, at the time they couldn't promote him.
Yeah.
Because the casinos were against promoting
Yeah.
the hip hop
Yeah.
acts.
It was right around the time when he had opened up his shoe store at the Link.
Oh,
at the
okay.
time, a 12 a.m. run.
so you know when this happened, right?
What?
This happened exactly after the fucking shootout and the fucking car
Oh
exploding.
yes, and
Yeah.
that was with the Rick Ross.
Rick
shit,
Ross
right?
at Hayes.
Rick Ross was performing at Hayes in the Aria.
Yeah.
What year was that? 2011
11 or 12.
11 or
11
Yeah.
or 12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a big shootout on fucking Flamingo.
Yeah,
Like, which is like
it
the-
started at the casino and it was like a chase, right? Like a
Yeah.
high speed like shootout chase
Yeah.
that ended on Flamingo.
It ended on Flamingo, and like I think a cab blew up or some
Yeah,
shit
on
like,
impact.
It was like some movie shit where there was a shootout and a huge explosion on this major fucking street,
Right.
like on the strip of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it just made news. And then after that, it was like, you cannot advertise. Like literally, the city was telling these nightclubs, like, you cannot advertise any fucking hip hop acts.
Right.
Because I remember at Hakkasan, they had like Mobb Deep, they had like all these hip hop acts. And it would always be like a surprise guest. They couldn't
Right.
even announce the shit. And they spent all these tens of thousands of dollars to bring these hip hop acts. And it was like, Vegas was anti hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So yeah, it sucked because when I saw him, like to hear these stories now and from what I remember, what I saw,
Yeah.
is like I can't believe it because he did an amazing job. bro.
But here's the thing. He performed at the Grammys, and he kind of killed it. He did a performance. He did like a medley of his hits and some of his new joints. And he had like an orchestra backing him up. And he sounded good. So maybe he was saving it
and he
for
just
the
got
Grammys.
I mean, I think he just thinks of like, these club appearances. Like, I'm just gonna drink and like
It's an easy
drink the
time.
free booze and like
Exactly.
he doesn't view it as a
you know,
performance. It's more of like
I
a
think,
host.
I think maybe in his eyes, the fact that I'm here is good enough.
That's a big deal right
That's
there.
a big
good
deal enough, man.
It's Nas, bro.
It's funny because there was a point like around the early 2010s. I know that Nas was like, he was doing all of these shows, but he was doing he didn't want to be announced or some shit.
Yeah.
He didn't want people to know he was doing these shows.
But that's what he owed the IRS money.
Yeah.
He needed that dough. So
the IRS was on his ass.
Damn.
So if he did a show and it was advertised,
They already knew.
they were like saying they were actually showing up, or they were telling the bookers that money has to go direct to us.
Yep.
So he couldn't get his pay. So
That's
like
cold as shit.
Imagine. You
So-
gotta like not advertise your acts because you just like ducking the IRS.
yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
there was like a couple. I remember there was a couple bookers telling me they had to pay him in cash,
Uh-huh.
and they had to pay him like before he showed up.
Wow.
I mean, again, we're like, because
Yeah. Any paper trail would have.
no, yeah, because the IRS was gonna show up, or they were gonna contact him and just like take all of it.
That's insane.
Yeah, he's been through a lot of shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but now he's doing well, right? Because of the restaurants, and he has some
Yeah.
investments.
Yeah.
I want to know where it turned around. Like what happened?
Well, I heard he's very big like in the cryptocurrency as well. So I don't know if that like how much that made a difference with his financial status, but from what I've heard, he's like really, really big into that shit.
So with the Grammys in Vegas, do you think it was the busiest that Vegas has been in a long time?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You think
I
so?
think for this time of year, yeah, definitely. I mean,
like since everything opened up, it was the biggest day,
Oh yeah.
weekend in Vegas.
Really?
It was like hard to get a Uber, Lyft.
It's funny because D and I had this we had this meeting, and one of our homies is in like the record industry, and he was saying like, he's like, I love that the Grammys were in Vegas, because when the shit is in LA, the traffic is impossible. It's impossible to get around. And he said, but Vegas is like, yo, you know, you can kind of move around a little bit better.
Yeah.
And it was like a lot easier and shit, but with the shit being in Vegas.
Yeah, he was saying the convenience of it, like literally being able to get anywhere in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Not having
Because you
to
could
be
like
in LA
walk
traffic.
or like,
yeah. And I ain't gonna front, seeing like the IG stories and everything, shit looked packed. Like everywhere. Like I know there was a couple of pools opening and different things, but like everywhere it looked crazy.
Yeah, and every venue had like a performer.
Yeah.
Everyone was performing everywhere.
And every record label person I knew that either lived in LA or New York was here in Vegas hitting me up like, yo, where you at? And I'm like, yo, I'm out of town. I'm at the
It's crazy because like Vegas more than ever this year with the NFL draft and like the Grammys and like all of these festivals
They're going to
that are
have the
popping up.
Indy 500 in Vegas.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
What year is
the
that?
map.
When they
This
gonna-
year.
This year?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yo, there's so much shit happening over here. Whoever's fucking rallying for Vegas,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? They're doing a good fucking job.
Yeah.
There's Lovers and Friends coming, Dane, Vegas, Life is Beautiful,
Yeah.
EDC. I mean, there's so many festivals
And
now.
that NFL draft is huge.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge corporate like event.
Yeah.
One of the biggest for sure. So
Vegas is gonna be busy this year, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
it's literally turning into like a
Then-
little like a small LA.
And we might get a
Low-key.
baseball team and an NBA team
Yeah.
this year.
Are they gonna do NBA too?
Yeah,
They-
most likely.
yeah.
Everything's
I
in
think so.
place. They got the stadium or the arena. Like it's already in place. I can see that.
They got to do something with the athletes though, not to get in trouble and like fucking
Oh,
wild the
man.
fuck out.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Look at the Raiders, right?
Yeah,
they need
man.
to set up a program for that shit, where these motherfuckers have like
Yeah.
chaperones just hanging out with
They
them.
have shit in place, man. It's just, but what can you really tell 20-year-olds that are millionaires
Yeah.
to help them understand
you can't
unless, they
control
really,
them.
unless they really go through the shit? You know what I mean?
I mean, we'll see, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy over here. So hit us up if you're a homie,
Don't hit me up.
but don't hit me up the day of.
Please
Yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear.
Put an advance notice.
Hey, I'm in town.
Hey, are you DJing at Nas party?
Were you getting a lot of that?
A couple. Yeah.
Give me
It's like you get that text like, "Yo, looks like Vegas is cracking, huh?"
It's funny.
I'm on the way.
It's funny. Ever since we had that episode where I was like, "Yo, like, don't hit me up with this. Hey, I'm in town." Text.
Yeah.
No one hits me. And then they tell me, they see me, they come up, like I see them in town. Like, yo, how come you hit me? They be like, yo, man, I saw you didn't want my foot. So let me clarify this. If you coming into town and we homies, let me know.
Yeah.
But don't let me know the day of.
Or when you in line somewhere.
Well, like, yeah, like don't let me know. Like, don't let me know at like 6 p.m. at night or some shit. Like, yo, I'm in town.
Yo, I'm at dinner. Like, what's popping for the night?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even got time to even set you up with nothing.
Like, real motherfuckers actually hit me up like a week in advance or a few days in advance. Yo, I'm coming to town. You're gonna be around. Yes, I'm coming. Yo.
Yeah.
We
And
set
they usually
some
have
shit.
like they have their own plans. They just come through and come hang out.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to pick them up and do it.
But that doesn't mean don't fucking hit me up and all that
Right.
shit, yo.
We still homies.
Yeah, we're still friends. It's crazy. I think we're gonna end this here. Looks like Leonardo had to
Yeah,
take a
he
couple calls. He disappeared.
I want to hear some more stories.
No. Thank God. Thank God for that. We didn't have to keep going with that shit.
He said he had a good one too. Huh?
No. That's
I think that was the good one.
No, that's all we need to hear. Listen,
Thank you for being vulnerable. Cricket.
That was a good
vulnerable with
time.
what? The shitting in my pants?
Yes, takes a
Oh
lot.
my God.
I mean, the way you described it was
Yeah,
insane.
shoveling snow. Wow, I got the real image in my head.
Throwing shit out the window.
Okay.
Poor cat.
All right.
bro.
All right. All right, fellas.
Did
Well,
you step on some shit? Sorry, that was funny.
all right, we out.
Peace.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.